events such as this to the bowling scene and community here in the Philippines, especially with the event being backed up by a company like SM?
Sir, for me, para lahat ng mga bowlers ay magsama-sama and we can go all together on different lanes and clubs and parang for me, sir, just to promote bowling and help many friends. That's all. Thank you.
And any other questions from our friends?
For Sir CJ, for the Open Masters, since it's open for all boards, former and current Philippine team, who are now so far enlisted for the tournament? Like sila Pine ba, sila Bob, are they competing here also?
Since we're launching it just now, of course we'll be sending out invitations. Of course, some of them are my former colleagues from the national team. It would really be exciting this year to see a lot of their faces, like Bieber Rivera, Pomoseno, Lisa Del Rosario. We would really be so happy if they would be able to participate. It's really open for them. I think this is the second year we're opening it for the Philippine team members, and it would be exciting to see them participate in the Millionaires Cup.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next question. Sirs?
Oh, hi, I'm Flourish from Mano to Life. You mentioned, Sir CJ, it would take a longer timetable for this tournament. So are you also expecting that the number of the participants would also increase, and by how much yung participants this year?
From the last 2 years, kasi we've had about 150 to 200 participants. We're looking at about 300 registrations this year. And of course, if a lot of bowlers can see that every month we're giving as much as 200,000 pesos on a monthly basis in terms of cash prizes, and if they know that the format is you have to earn points month on month to get you to the national finals, of course it will be more encouraging for participants to join our tournament.
And with the, is there also an expanded tournament for a larger age bracket? Or yung bracket ba, is it still the same, or you also extending the age bracket to a much younger or much older?
Well, the categories were still open masters and classified masters. We've never really restricted on the age requirement. We just have the PPC averages to ensure that they know the handicapping of the tournament.
Thank you.
All right, would we have another question? Anyone from the press? Sir Francis, I have a question. Because the past 2 years, we've had one big champion, one winner, who's taken home 2 of the biggest prizes. First year, she took home 2 million in a car. Second year, 1 million pesos. How will it be this year? And, you know, does she have a different division? How do you think that the winners will be like this year?
Well, first, I think you're of course referring to Diane Galangez of Davao.
Yes, sir.
To give credit to Diane, she really prepared to participate in last year's tournament. She played on day 1, which was the classified master. She did do well. That same night, she went to a pro shop. She fixed her equipment just to make sure that she made the cut for the second day, which is the Open Masters. And fortunately enough, she did win it. The person she actually beat for the title is sitting right beside me. But to give credit to her, this is one example of one bowler who really prepared for a tournament, who really wanted to have a back-to-back title. In bowling, it's very, very difficult to actually win a title back-to-back. Especially in the format that we've had, it's not really easy. But there's a certain amount of luck when it comes to bowling, and but a lot of it is mental preparation. And I think Diane's case is a classic one where somebody really prepared for it and came out at the end winning the title for a second time. Now, insofar as this year is concerned, can she do a three-peat? Why not? We look forward to it. However, I think the excitement that was generated by the second SM Millionaires Cup last year, has now drawn a new set and a new breed of bowlers who are now really interested. A lot of the bowlers that we invited to play here today, actually, for them, SM Millionaires Cup is a new event. So the interest that it has generated has shown that the tournament has grown. And we look forward to either crowning a new champion or discovering new talents. But again, if Diane can do a three-peat, well and good, that's also good for bowling because it means discipline really pays off in the end.
So can you say that because of the SM Bowling Millionaires Cup, there are a lot of new bowlers, the potential of bowling as a sport is growing again?
Well, the Millionaires Cup, as what CA has said even last year, the purpose was really to draw in new bowlers. And I think we have achieved that goal. Now, insofar as expanding that to newer heights, I think it is very much possible. SM has come up with a lot of activities for this year alone, which I think CJ would be in a better position to announce. But overall, the partnership between SM and the bowling community to make the sport grow is very much apparent. There are a lot of opportunities that we are going to go into. And yes, we are looking forward to a very, very progressive year for bowlers, new bowlers and old bowlers alike.
Thank you so much, sir. Anybody have any more questions? Oh, yes, sir.
I have one question. This is regarding the bowlers, the from OFW bowlers. So from last year's format, the averages of the OFW bowler was not determined. Is there any consideration that has been taken by the organizers for the OFW to compete fairly with the bowlers still in the Philippines? Thank you.
And I think I would answer that. The problem with not just with OFW, overseas Filipino bowlers, but also for foreign bowlers who compete here in the Philippines, is that it's very difficult to really determine what their averages are. Because of course you have a lot of things to consider, whether they're actually playing abroad or if the averages that they carry home are the actual playing averages. It is really normal when it comes to international tournaments that you do not, because the premise here is that when they play here, is that they play in the open division. That's a big challenge for any tournament. What was been adopted last year and this year is actually to presume that the bowlers who really come from abroad are already at the level where they are class O, or what we call the open bowlers.
Okay, sir. Okay, we have maybe two more questions.
Steph?
Yes, sir.
CJ just mentioned something, because we just also announced we have made some adjustments for the entire tournament where this will answer Mr. Amando's question also, because when it comes to the grand finals, there will be a reconsideration of playing averages. So for people who play during the entire course of the tournament, I think especially the new bowlers will be happy to note that during the grand finals, all your games will be considered. So we're back to scratch. So malalaman natin talaga kung sino yung mataas ang average, sino yung mababa, so that during the grand finals, it will be a very, very fair competition.
And just to add to that, so for your concern, sir, so but entering average po is 196, average po 0. That's for the entering po of the competition. Now, so as we build up to the grand finals, ang gagawin po natin is we will compute your averages and your handicap based on the scores niyo po for the 6 months na naglalaro po kayo during the Millionaires. So it's gonna be fair po for everyone because for all those who participate during the tournament, you'll be playing for the same bowling pattern, the same bowling center. So it's good to really compute those aggregate scores. Yun po magiging basis natin for your averages and handicap once you go to the national finals.
Alright. Okay, no more questions. I will save my last question for Sir Errol.
Question for CJ. CJ, will it be more difficult for a bowler to qualify for the finals? Yun nga, will it be difficult for an ordinary bowler to qualify for the grand finals? Kasi may mga, ano rito,
Cheryl, for that one, it's not really going to be difficult for them. We're just making the process more exciting for them. In fact, when you go to the national finals, a total of 60 bowlers from the classified and the top 60 bowlers from the Open Masters will advance to the national finals. We're giving them a lot of opportunity in the next 6 months to earn as much points and earn cash prizes as well during that procedure. So it may be difficult for some if they're not really practice bowling, but if they are really at a competitive level, they can win every month 50,000 pesos, earn 20 points as they build up to the grand finals.
I'll also add to that, because what we're employing here is a point system, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a high average bowler, because we also have handicap. So even a low bowler can actually win. Habol mo dito is you have points that will carry you to the grand finals. So is it difficult? Not really. It's so long as you practice your game, you try to read the lanes as best as you can actually get in, even if you are a low bowler.
one last question. Is the tournament also open for foreigners who are based here in the Philippines?
Actually, good question, because we never really considered that. But based on the rule, based on what we put in, yes, it is open to foreigners. And so long as they are residing here, because we do have bowlers from other areas. I mean, locally, who participated last year. I remember there was an American who was based in Cebu who played last year. Unfortunately, I don't think he went to the finals, but he did qualify for the national finals. So yes, that is possible.
So Francis, basically this is yung mga monthly tournaments are ranking tournaments basically. Lalabas na ranking tournament. So you get points to qualify sa national final.
That's right.
Okay. Any open masters lang at saka open women's masters lang? Walang other age group
No, right. For this year, there's going to be only classified and open masters, because we've just retained the classified and open masters because it's really open to all classes, all age divisions. And the handicapping system that we actually put in will allow low bowlers, like I said, even the senior bowlers or even lady bowlers, a very good playing field. As was evidenced from last year's tournament, like I said, ang nanalo was Diane, who's a lady bowler, and she is a youth bowler. So it's an open field.
So walang handicapping system din.
Meron.
Meron.
It allows everybody to play.
So what?
Basis of handicap. How will you base the handicap?
Okay, based on our ruling, it is either the PBC average or the SF bowling average, whichever is higher. Okay, to be fair naman, because we have some bowlers who have lower averages, so kinukuha namin yung pinakamataas, because that means you are capable of going into this particular playing level.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, sirs. That